Okay. Moving ahead. So, as I already said, I am not from a medical background or I'm not a doctor. So I knew the importance of having, a medical guidance in terms of diabetes management, in terms of fitness, and all of that. So there, of course, there were doctors who supported me, and right now on the Fuse advisory board, we have doctors who have supported me and helped me to create this platform for people who are living with diabetes. So I would like to introduce Dr. Sheetal, who is a practicing consultant diabetologist based in Hyderabad, and is also living with type 1 diabetes. And Dr. Saurabh Uppal, who is located in Jalandhar and is a pediatric endo. And he has been very active in Dia as well, and in creating a community in North India and all parts of India as well. And the third on the advisory board is a very dear friend and Dr. Apurva Gombar, who is currently is in US and doing his her masters in public health. So I welcome all the advisors here, and to start with, uh, of course, some advices being on the advisory panel to me, to Fused on how to take this forward as well, and also to the people who have joined here, being type ones or family of type ones. What do you actually want to advise or share us? Over to you, yeah, Dr. Sheetal and Dr. Saurabh.
Thank you, Sahil, for introducing me, for calling me in this initiative. And first of all, congratulations to you and my best wishes to you because uh, I definitely feel that you have picked up a responsibility that was there to be picked, and you're trying to fill a gap which is very much there in the entire treatment scheme of things because what we really need is a holistic approach, as the previous panel really alluded to in great detail. And my best wishes to you. And I would let Dr. Sheetal take charge in leading. And I don't know what advice. Let me think about what advice I'm going to do. You already have started a great thing, and I think you're very clear. Still, let me think, and by in that time, in the meantime, Dr. Sheetal will
Sure, sure,
go
sir.
to that.
Thank you, Sahil, for inviting me over here, and thank you for having me on the advisory panel. First of all, many congratulations on this
Thank
absolutely inspiring journey from 2011 to now. This wonderful initiative. I mean, I'm sure you're doing it. This venture is born out of your passion and out of your love for helping people with diabetes. So my advice to you is probably just simple: whatever you do it with passion, integrity, and love, and it will definitely fall in place. And like Dr. Saurabh said, I'm glad you're trying to fulfill an unmet need so far by creating this holistic yet customized service for people living with diabetes. And I'm sure will definitely propel many people utilizing your services into a healthy zone where they can manage diabetes better in the long term. And I wish you all the success. As far as my advice to the patients, as you know, I'm living with type 1 myself, and our esteemed panelists have already emphasized the importance of exercise in the life of a diabetic or a non-diabetic for that matter. I don't need to add more to that, but I'd like to say something specifically to type 1 diabetics. Most often, diet and insulin management comes first in the scheme of things, and it's emphasized, and they're made aware from different from different people. But usually, most often, I see a lot of type 1s get put off or turn away from exercise as they feel the exercise again brings fresh challenges to adjusting insulin, managing sugars around it, and just fresh challenges to their life again. And they already feel that their plate is full and they do not want to invite more challenges. But once they can, if they can overcome this initial obstacle, whether they do it by themselves or with the help of a hand holding from a service like yours, once they understand how to fit exercise into their regular life and learn how to adjust insulin and sugars around it, I can assure you type 1 becomes little less challenging and more empowering after that. A tough combination to deal with is type 1 and insulin resistance, whether it's due to obesity or not, what's called as double diabetes or diabesity. So unlike type 2 diabetics who have some medications which can counter insulin resistance, there are no medicines to beat that for type 1s, typically, conventionally. So the only way to beat it, and exercise is the only way to beat that. So insulin resistance can be quite powerfully encountered and neutralized by exercise. And we've already heard enough about how exercise improves insulin sensitivity. So, and they also say the best exercise is the one that you do. So figure out what is your favorite exercise, but please figure out a way to blend exercise with your diet and insulin for a better life with diabetes. And I've personally done that myself too, and I've found a big change and a great change in my sugars and my daily living, in my mental health, in just feeling empowered. So that's what I would like to say.
Dr. Saurabh, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, so Dr. Sheetal has really beautifully summarized it.
Yeah.
And it is very important that everyone who's listening to it, anybody who's living with type 1 diabetes, take this advice very seriously. And I'm sure this can go a long way in ensuring a good outcome. And as far as advice is concerned, uh, so Sahil, the most important advice I would like to give you is, in the journey that you have started, the most important word all throughout is going to be awareness.
Right.
We can talk about the importance of exercise all day long. We can tell how it will help and how it will make a difference and why we should do it. But as long as the ultimate stakeholder, the family, doesn't have this message in their mind that it is important, it is not going to serve it.
Right, sir.
So, what is really going to help you is how many people you can touch, how many families you can touch, how far your message can go. Because when this message goes across, this is such an important message, exercise in management of diabetes, that once it goes to the masses, it is going to create a ripple effect. And when that ripple effect is created, that is when your entire mission will have would have found what you really want to do. And you can help a few people who are savvy with internet through your service. But more than that, please remember that the ultimate aim should be to let the last person in the line know that I have to exercise. That is how my child or I am going to do better. It should not see their uh, uh, what you call being a pro at technology, having the resources to afford it all, should not be the barrier.
Right.
If you can make your message reach those who cannot reach you, that will be the ultimate metric of your success. And as far as advice is concerned, I would advise you, see, what you've chosen is a very dynamic sector. By dynamic section, a lot of studies, a lot of research always keeps going on because it is very important. Stay grounded, stay humble. Things do change, new knowledge comes. You will encounter all type of people in your journey. They will have their own areas from where the knowledge is going to come. Some of them will be dogmatic, some of them would be overpowering. Stay humble, stay updated, and that's how you can actually give benefit of your expertise to everyone.
Right.
Okay. And as far as to the uh, people living with type 1 is concerned, I think most of the important things have already been told. But again, what is really close to my heart, I would give that message to you. Keep learning, keep learning, keep learning. Read new things. There are so many things on on social media, in research. It is important. Till the time a new science comes in regular practice, usually it is 5 or 10 years. You don't want to waste those 5 or 10 years. Keep learning about the latest in technology, the latest in diabetes management. You have enough resource persons now because the world has become very small with COVID and there is technology at your disposal. The more you learn, the better you will manage your own diabetes. So that is my message to everyone. Don't depend on any one source overtly. keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep going to people who can tell you the right way to go about it. I'm very glad that when it comes to exercise, now you have a resource. If you want to know, you have a resource person, you have a program where you can get in. So that's what I would advise you. So
Thank you so much, Dr. Saurabh, Dr. Sheetal, for advising me these things that I require. Of course, I'm starting in this field. And of course, to the type 1s who are listening to this, the advices you shared. Thank you so much. Dr. Apurva, your advice to me and to people who are living with type 1 diabetes.
that's a little it's a little awkward when he says, "Give me some advice." Huh?
No, but not just exercise, but like you have been working in this field for years, and actually when I started, so now I feel like all the doctors who at one stage, so I got to hear this all the time. Type 1 say doctors have suggested me not to exercise. That is the common advice that type 1 say. But doctors like you, doctors like Dr. Bansi, you guys have encouraged me to do this and also share with other people. you know so this is why, like, I feel grateful to the community here, to the type 1s, to the doctors, and yeah. Dr. Apurva. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's always so nice to be with Dr. Uppal and Dr. Sheetal because they are like role models for me, something which I always aspire to like reach to their mark. And Dr. Sheetal is such an inspiration for me that like she's a person I see, look up to, that she's been living with type 1 diabetes. She's a medical professional and she also manages all of that struggle while dealing with medicine. So it's such an honor to be here. So one advantage I get over both my other advisors is that I can actually give you an advice on a phone. So I don't need this public platform to give you an advice. So I take the benefit of being close friends and knowing you for years. So I would like to jump off this question.
Okay. Okay.